What is your closing argument to voters in the run up to Tuesday's primary with early voting already underway?
Well, this campaign has been and always will be about the future, not the past. It's about the Virginia that we'd like to create together. And it's about being proactive, not reactive, and not bending with the political winds. I know in my heart that we need an attorney general who will rise to meet this particular moment in our Commonwealth's history and bring about that true and equal justice this state so desperately needs. I'm so proud of the support that we've received from Governor Ralph Northam, former Attorney General Mary Sue Terry, Congressman Bobby Scott, Congresswoman Elaine Luria, so many members of the General Assembly, because they believe, they know that we have the vision and the values to beat Republicans in November and reimagine this old office in a new way and bring real leadership to the AG's office. And I know that I will rise to meet the demands of this moment, fight to move our Commonwealth forward, and reach for the ceiling and never just settle for the floor.
Has there been an issue in the primary campaign that is the most important issue? Anything?
Justice reform at the forefront of everyone's minds here in this Commonwealth. What we saw over the course of 2020 with George Floyd, certainly I still feel that knee on my neck every time I see that video or people talk about that incident. Jacob Blake in Wisconsin, Breonna Taylor, that happened in 2020. We were all forced to look at that. And now this stuff is happening in the Commonwealth that we all love, whether it's in Virginia Beach with Donovan Lynch, Windsor with Lieutenant Nazario, Spotsylvania with Isaiah Brown. We need a justice system that's going to work for everybody, no matter who you are, where you come from, what you look like, or how much money is in your pocket. That's the number one issue that folks have been talking about as we've gone around over the last couple of years. It remains strong, it remains important, and I can't wait to win this primary and execute on the vision of the Virginian population.
You have attacked Attorney General Herring this week for his use of the Democratic Attorney Generals Association to fund his campaign. What is your concern with that?
Well, look, first, I will say it's for the Department of Elections to decide whether what they're doing is legal or not. But one thing is very clear in all of this is that Mark Herring is using a DC PAC to flood Virginia with almost $1 million in unaccountable corporate money. It's making a mockery of the campaign finance system that we have here and concealing the donors funding this campaign. I mean, that's extremely troubling. So, throughout all of this, Mark has failed to answer one basic question, which is, why are you so desperate to cover up, the identities of your donors?
If you're elected Attorney General, would you, I take it that you would not use that association for campaign funding?
Well, as Attorney General, I will disclose all of my donors and the sources of all of my funds. We do it now with this campaign. As Attorney General, that wouldn't change. I think there are certain protocols that you've got to adhere to as it relates to registering as an outside group. That clearly has not been followed, and I think that was done for a reason, especially since they've done that twice in the past to sort of follow the state law that is on the books.
Okay, thank you. Is the Clean Virginia Political Action Committee helping fix problems in Virginia politics?
That's for everybody else to decide. I'm proud to have the support of an organization that promotes good governance and campaign finance reform. And I think with the complaint that we just filed, it highlights the need for us to take a real look at our system and figure out how to change this to make it best work for everybody, no matter who you are or where you come from or how much money is in your pocket. I think everybody now understands that we do have a real issue with campaign finance in this Commonwealth. And for me, that's certainly something that we'll continue to champion as Attorney General.
Do you support limiting the amount of campaign donations that Virginia candidates can receive?
Well, look, I think we were supposed to have a bipartisan commission to convene to look at this, and they'll take in input from a whole bunch of different folks. And hopefully we can find a situation or a scenario that's going to work and sort of better update and orient our system for the challenges of today.
Okay. Delegate Candy King is a new African American delegate from Prince William County who took campaign donations from Dominion Energy. And Clean Virginia is helping fund her Democratic primary opponent. Should Candy King be replaced in the General Assembly because she took donations from Dominion?
I'm only worried about my primary. I have very little knowledge of what's happening in some of these other races. We've been so focused on taking our message to the people. But that's certainly up to the folks in the second district to decide who they want. But I think that's why we have elections. That's why people get up and go exercise their voice and make their choice heard.
Okay. You have criticized Attorney General Herring for how he handled his use of blackface when he was in college, but you've embraced support from Governor Northam, whose blackface scandal, also included an image of the KKK. Why have you embraced Governor Northam but not accepted Attorney General Herring's response to these incidents?
Well, I'm incredibly proud to have Governor Northam's endorsement in this campaign. He sat with Mark in the Senate. They've run on a ticket twice together, and he chose me in our campaign in this cycle because he knows that we have the vision and the values for this new Virginia decade. I have criticized the Attorney General, not because he wore blackface. He has apologized for that, but it was the lack of empathy and emotion and compassion that accompanied that apology when he sat with the members of the Black Caucus, because it told me at that point that he didn't care how it made us feel as Black legislators, as Black people in this Commonwealth, and that he was only doing this to save himself, to further his own political career. I think that's something you've seen Mark Herring do time and time again. And Virginians are tired of that. They want different faces and fresh perspectives and new voices. And I can't wait to offer that to the folks in this primary. I'm very excited about that. We've been so well received across this Commonwealth. And so I think Virginians are ready for something different, and they're ready to move ahead and to shed some of the rest of these vestiges of our challenging past.
Okay, and last question, regardless of who wins your primary race, is the Democratic Party going to be divided going forward?
I think once we are through Tuesday and we have clear winners for our statewide races and we've got our nominees for the House, we will all be focused on maintaining control at the statewide level and keeping our majority in the House of Delegates. We've done tremendous things over the last couple of years, and we want to continue to build on that progress. And I think Democrats, no matter where you are in the state, are all committed to making sure that we continue to build on the successes of these last several years.